Hello! Shadowcat back for the first time in... Oh, it's been a minute. It's been a lot of minutes, actually. Yes, and that's what we're actually here for today. I am coming back, finally. So, today, I just want to talk briefly, because it is the new year, about what's been happening, where have I been, and where are we going forward. Because it started in October and it did not stop until January. It did not. The entire last quarter of 2024 was a complete wash. So, what happened? Well, I put out a video back in October explaining that I was going to be on a bit of a hiatus for the entirety of October and the first part of November because I took a trip out to Colorado to see family, and then I took a trip somewhere else to also see family because, well, these are just the things that you have to do sometimes. Family is important, so you gotta do things for them. And I did my best to make it work. I got out a few videos in October between the two trips, but it was only 1 week. By the time I got back in November was already half over, and so it was kind of hard to start that. The biggest problem that I had in November is I did get back on schedule for a while there, but the problem was the Humble Spotlight. Now, the Humble Spotlight is something I started doing years ago because I've been a part of the Humble Bundle for a very long time. I've been getting it for... I can't actually remember how long I've been getting the Humble Bundle. Regardless, though, I kept paying for it, but I wasn't actually playing any of the games on it. So when I started a channel, one of the things that I said that I wanted to do was to play a lot of the games that I hadn't got around to. I didn't start a gaming channel because I wanted to become a great big successful YouTuber. I essentially started a YouTube channel because it was COVID times. Everybody was starting a YouTube channel or some kind of online presence. And I have an entire library of games that I have never touched. And I needed an excuse to get through and actually do that. So that's what I did. And it has since grown from there. I've met new people because of that. I've tried new things because of that. And it's been very successful on a multitude of levels. Problem is, though, with the Humble Bundle, I only really get a month to play each one of the games. And so when it came to November, and November was half over by the time I got home, there just wasn't any way to really do that. It wasn't feasible. And so I just kept on with the normal schedule, and I let the Humble Spotlight go. I didn't feel good about doing it, but I had to do it. So then we got to December. And December, I thought was going to be filled with promise, and then September went completely sideways. So the first thing that happened was family drama, which I'm not going to get into. Needless to say that things happened and they took me away from putting out the normal schedule that I would normally put out. I did my best to keep up where I could, and I failed. However, I mean, it's family, these things happen, and so you do what you have to do with family. Got past that, and everything was good again, but you gotta realize that family is a giving thing. You do things for your family, you give things for your family. And my family gave me COVID. Yeah! So that was fun. So the first part of December was spent dealing with family issues, and then the second part was spent sick. All the way leading up to Christmas, all the way through Christmas, and now I am 95% of the way there. I'm not completely over it yet. And who knows, at this point I may never be. I don't know for sure. But the point is that I'm well enough now that I'm ready to get back to everything. So, what are we doing then? What are we doing? Well, I intend to get back to the normal schedule. That is starting on, oh, what day is it going to be? Today is the 3rd, as I record this. So starting on the 5th, I fully intend to get back into the normal schedule. That is to say, on January 5th, I intend to be live streaming. After all, Sunday streams are always my tabletop streams, and I do look forward to those every week. It's one of those things I talked about, doing things that I never thought I'd be able to do before. I love tabletop gaming. I really do. I have been a player for a few years. I have been a GM for a lot more years than that. And sitting down and actually working on tabletop gaming stuff is just, it's one of my absolute passions. We just finished in the end of 24. I think it was like the last Sunday stream that I had before I went to Colorado. We had just finished up the massive 13 or 14 month long Warhammer 40,000 project, which was converting Warhammer 40,000 from a lore and gameplay perspective into Starfinder 1. And I have to say Starfinder 1 because Paizo is actually working on Starfinder 2. I don't know that or really anything about it, just like I don't know anything about Pathfinder 2. I like Pathfinder 1 and Starfinder 1. I like the complexity and everything in them. I haven't looked yet at Pathfinder 2. I don't know it well enough. Yeah, maybe someday we'll get into that. I'm not sure yet. But for now, we're still working on the ones. And we just finished up a 13 or 14 month long project importing Warhammer 40k into Starfinder. And it is amazing. I cannot wait to run it. Speaking of running games, I actually do have a gaming group right now. And a lot of those episodes are all the episodes are recorded. They are unedited. So this year, I intend to finish the stuff for that, begin the editing process, and start getting that out. Now that is going to be difficult because every episode is between 2 and 4 hours long, and it needs to be edited and trimmed down, removing the dead air, removing table talk, removing rules revisions, things like that, and just turning it into something more presentable. Now, how presentable it's going to be, I don't know. I'm hoping that it's going to be exciting enough to keep people's attention. But tabletop gaming is notoriously not something that is as entertaining to watch, and even then, there's not much to watch because I don't have live cameras for everyone, so it's just Roll20 while we run the game. Still though, I intend to get this up and running. Okay, it's been sitting there for a long time. It's a monumental project that is more than a little bit intimidating, and it's got to get done. So sometime this year, I will get that done. After that, though, I'm getting back to the normal schedule. So, Mondays, of course, is still going to be RimWorld, for now. We are still working hard on finishing up the Rim of Time. I drastically made the wrong decision with that series. And at this point, I'm like committed, and I want it to be over. I have other RimWorld series that I want to play. However, the objectives of filling the entire map, which is technically like doable if I just wanted to fill it with random stuff, I could do that. The other goal of finishing all of the research and turning the colony into the new age of Legends, which is all kinds of futuristic technology, automation, a post-scarcity colony essentially. That might have been a bit too much. So, I don't know how I'm going to finish the series at this point. At this point, there's not too much that's really threatening us in that series. We do still run up against a lot of raids. It sucks when they break through our walls. but we haven't really lost anyone in a long time, especially since we can turn backwards the wheel of time and bring people back. So I don't know how I'm going to finish this up. After I do, though, however, I do have plans for a new RimWorld series, and I may as well go ahead and just spoil that here. I have avoided playing the new Anomaly DLC, which came out like a year ago. I haven't even touched it. I haven't looked at it. I haven't watched anyone else play it because I want to go in fresh. So, to that end, I already have the new series worked out. The new series after the Rim of Time is going to be SCPR. That is it is secure, contain, and protect RimWorld. And I intend to use pretty much every different species, every different weird thing that I can find, along with the Anomaly DLC that came out, to create something that's going to be interesting. Here's hoping, at least. So, that's what's up with RimWorld. Tuesdays, of course, are still going to be Fallout Equestria. Fallout Equestria Remains, rather. And we're making good progress in that one. We're finding ways to kind of subvert the game, and we're just about to get to Manhattan. Honestly, this game is going better than I thought it would be, especially after my first encounter with Fallout. I was never a Fallout person before. And then, for the humble spotlight, I got to go back and play Fallout 1. And wow, what a disappointment that was. So I get that Fallout was an amazing game when it came out. I understand that Fallout really raised the bar when it came out. Playing Fallout 1, though, it is clearly a product of its time, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm not going to apologize for that. So I was really turned off from the whole Fallout thing when it was suggested that I do Fallout Equestria Remains. That being said, though, it's been a lot better. I mean, it may help that it's just a more modern game, but we've made progress, and I feel somewhat accomplished. So that's good. That's working out well, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we get that. Wednesday, we're getting back to Guild Wars. Now, Guild Wars is kind of interesting. Guild Wars is the longest running single series on this channel. It was a flagship series, okay? One of the first. And we're not done yet. So, Blizz and I are still going to be playing through Guild Wars 2. We are currently on the nation of Cantha, and we are uncovering the secrets there. However, once we get done with that, there is a little kind of post-addendum section on the end of Dragons, after which point we'll move in through the rest of the expansions. That is going to be Secrets of the Obscure and the Isles of Janthere. Now, the Isles of Janthere is currently being released, with the next part of the expansions due to come out in February. I fully suspect that by the time we actually get to the Isles of Janthere, it'll probably be done. At which point, there's no decision yet on where we're going to take Guild Wars next, although it is highly anticipated that we will probably go back and play through the entirety of Guild Wars 1. Since I have done that, but Blizz has not. And so that should be a rather interesting experience. So that takes care of Wednesday. Thursday, of course, is Palworld. For as long as Palworld remains up and playable. Of course, everyone on the internet probably already knows that Palworld is currently embroiled in a massive lawsuit against Nintendo. And that being said, things have already started to change. So there was an update about, I don't know, a month ago, maybe a little bit less, where they changed how pals spawn. You still have to throw balls to catch pals, However, you can no longer throw a ball to spawn your pal. The reason being is because they determined that was too similar to throwing a Pokeball. And so they made the change. Now, whenever you release your pal, it simply appears next to you. This is the first concession. There will be more. And if they've already conceded on this, and we know that there will be more concessions, is it possible that Palworld simply disappears? I don't know. I'm enjoying Palworld. I look forward to Palworld on a weekly basis. I just got a brand new pal. I forget what its name is, but it's got a sword. I love that, and I want to play more with it. And that might go away. So I don't know what's going to happen from here. Until it does, we're going to continue to work on it. I don't know what the end game necessarily is in Palworld. Maybe we do just try to catch them all, because Palworld, as far as I know, and as far as I've been told, does not have an actual ending. There's no Elite Four, there's no champion, nothing like that. So we got to figure out our own endpoint. But a full PAL deck is maybe a good way to go. I don't know. We'll wait and see. And then we get to Friday. Friday is complicated because Friday was originally Cosmotier. And I was enjoying Cosmotier. However, the mods that I was playing with and the updates with Cosmotier were just wreaking havoc, and the game literally became unplayable for a long time. I asked people if you would wanted me to stick it out and just keep trying every week, or to move on to another series temporarily. People opted to move on, and so we moved on to Supreme Commander. This is not a new playthrough for me, but just revisiting it. And it's been great. It's a lot longer, though, than I thought it was going to be. But that's because we're doing everything. So currently we are playing through all of the campaigns. So there are 3 factions in Supreme Commander, and in Supreme Commander 1, the base game, the UEF, the Cybrid, and the Aeon each have their own story to tell. And we're going to go through all of them. At least until the end. Because at the end, only one person can win. After that, though, we'll move into Forged Alliance, and Forged Alliance is the DLC. It introduces a new faction, the Seraphim. However, there is only one campaign in Forged Alliance, because you can pick whoever you want to play, but the story remains the same regardless of who you pick to actually, play it. After that, we'll move on to Supreme Commander 2, which is also a single campaign, but it does it differently. In Supreme Commander 2, you will play through with each of the factions, but you play through them sequentially. You start with the UEF, and then you have the Aeon sandwiched in the middle, and then you end with the Cybrid. So there's no choices to make there. You just play through those. Once we get done with all of that, fingers crossed, we will get back to Cosmotier, because we are so close to finishing Cosmotier, and I really want to do it. We have gotten so very far in Cosmotier, and we deserve to finish that one. The objective is to simply get to the highest area. The original one was to map the entire galaxy, but I did the math on that one, and with the number of nodes that were in the actual galaxy map, if we spent 4 episodes in each one, mapping 25% of each star system every time, the 5-year journey would literally take 5 years. I figured that was a bit much. The fact of the matter is, though, that once we actually achieve the goal of mapping the highest level area, handling all of the enemy ships and the pirates and everything else, we have nothing left to prove. If we can do that, we can do anything. And so we can go ahead and we can end it there. So hopefully we can get back to that soon, because I want to see how the Enterprise and all of its sister ships handle that. It's going to be worth it. I mean, we've already had a lot of trials and tribulations there. We've had comedy, we've had tragedy, we've had sorrow, we've had anger, we've had a lot of emotions in that series. It deserves finality. So, that is going to cover the schedule going into the new year. Saturdays are still kind of flexible. If I have a lecture that I want to give, get something off my chest, maybe vent a little bit, that's what Saturday is for. If I have a different game that I want to do, like this, before I was too sick to really do it, I tried doing a longer stream playing Warframe, because I look at a lot of these YouTube streamers, Twitch streamers, things like that. These people will stream for, 6, 8, 10, 12 hours at a time. And I figured, well, I mean, these people are doing that and they're successful. Can I do that kind of thing? And if I wasn't, in the process of coming down with COVID, I think it would have gone a lot better. We may revisit that, but for the time being, I don't have any plans of doing longer streams like that. I mean, if you've got suggestions, then sure, go ahead and share those. But otherwise, yeah, Saturday will remain a flexible day. Also, because I have other obligations, there's some Saturdays that I'm already occupied. Can't be helped. But that's the week going forward, and one other thing to mention, of course, would be the Humble Spotlight. So Monday through Friday is going to have a set schedule. It'll go from month to month to month. I will be getting back into the Humble Bundle. And so the Humble Spotlight will come back. Obviously, that will be the second video of the day. The way it's going to work is that the Humble Bundle comes out on the first Tuesday of every month. Now, for January, that is the 7th. So January 7th is when the Humble Bundle drops. Generally speaking, I give myself the week after that to get the intro, the outro, thumbnails, and all that stuff put together. Because I am but one person. I don't have anybody to make thumbnails and stuff for me. So I will do my best to get that out as fast as I can. I am going with a more generic Humble Spotlight opening now, which is going to save time. It's not going to be as unique as the other ones, but it'll help me save time. So Humble Spotlight will be coming back. It will be the second video every day for that month. And hopefully we'll get some good ones. Honestly, I don't feel too bad about missing December, because I looked at the games in December's Humble Bundle, and I was entirely unimpressed and uninspired. Unfortunately. And that's not a dig against them, it's just there was nothing there that particularly interested me. So that's how that's going to work. The objective here is to just get back on schedule and keep to it. That's all that I want. And if I can manage that, then great. Mission accomplished. And if not, then we'll wait and see what happens. But it is time to get back to work. It is time to get back on schedule. So, starting Sunday, January 5th, I am officially back to work. It will be for the tabletop stream. We are currently working on Magic the Gathering, and so far Magic the Gathering is looking like fun. It's been a bit of a... It's been hard, I will admit, translating a card game into Pathfinder, but that's kind of where the fun is. Trying to take two things that are completely incompatible and make them compatible. And for what it's worth, I don't think I have it handy, but I have an entire list of future conversion modules. We have Pokemon and Digimon on there. I think there was a Doom conversion on there that someone suggested. I threw in Transformers just because I love Transformers and always have, and I think that doing a Transformers module would be fun. Point being that there are a lot of ideas and I'm always taking more, so If you happen to like tabletop gaming and you want to suggest a conversion module that you would be interested in, well, throw it down in the comments. I mean, why not? We'll see what happens. So, that's what we're going to be doing. I am going to hop off of here now, because I have things that I got to get prepared. I look forward to seeing everybody again on January 5th. At least all my normal people, maybe even a few new faces. If you see this, you're not subscribed to the channel, but you are, interested in what we do, what I'm doing, then sure, come join us. Look, the way I see it is come and join us. If it's not your cup of tea, then it's not your cup of tea. And that's fine. You don't have to stay. No one's holding a gun to your head and saying you have to stay here. You can come in, see if you like it, and then leave. On the flip side, though, if you come and you like what you see, you're free to stay. I mean, I don't have a huge audience, but I do have a few very dedicated people in my audience, and they are awesome. They are amazeballs. So come in, hang out, talk to people, get to know them, and make some friends. It'll be great. And like I said, if you want to leave, then you can leave. It's not going to hurt my feelings much, but I'll keep that to myself, okay? I'll keep that to myself. So, hope to see people, or all the normal people there. Hope to see some new people there, maybe. I'm eager to get back to work, to get back to my games, to get back to working on the modules. I'm eager for this new year. I know that 2025 hasn't exactly started out great. But I mean, that just means that the bar is really low, right? So it should be easy to make something better of it, right? Yeah. I don't buy that either. But that's the idea. Try to be positive. So, with that being said, Happy New Year to everybody. I look forward to seeing everybody soon. I look forward to getting back to work. And yeah, that's about it. So until then, take care.